So you see that you have a headache, for example, and the mind says, okay, because I did something yesterday, that's why I have a headache. So we are searching the cause of the headache. So the cause is something I did yesterday. And we stop there. So the journey of the Eastern wisdom says go on finding the ultimate cause. So it is the body first, the body, head is the part of the body, and when head is the part of the body, then I am not the body, so do I have a headache? So we go on searching through the knowledge where exactly, what is the ultimate cause of the pain and the suffering. So time comes, we find the ultimate cause is the ignorance, not knowing the reality. So when I don't know the reality, then the sorrow continues, the suffering continues in our life. It's all a part of understanding, knowledge. So that is why we always talk about the real self, the reality. That real self is the ultimate reality. It is pure consciousness. So my mind claimed that reality is something outside. The moment the mind claims the reality is something different than the real self, we will continue to suffer and sorrow. So that is the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom. How are you, Sarah? I don't see Sarah.
Hi, I have my camera off. I hope that's okay.
Okay. If you don't want to show yourself, that is also okay. But keep listening.
Oh, I love listening. I'm very thankful for these sessions.
Listening is very important. But not only listening, after listening, changing the mind is important. So, this is all about the Eastern wisdom. So, that listening takes place. Ah, very good, Ashok. I see you horizontally. It is good. You have reached to the highest state of meditation. Very good. There are rare people. Whoosh. In yoga we say, oh, you get lot of powers. So this is one of your powers. So, Ashok is also a technocrat like you, Sam. So he's engineer. Yes, now engineers can do anything, in their lives. So, so there was where the Buddha was born. Buddha was born in Bihar, a native state of my native state also, one of the 29 states in India, like US. So there was another master, Vachaspati Mishra. So he wanted to write a commentary on one of the most authentic texts that I have not taken up yet. So he was so much focused and absorbed. Every day his wife used to bring him a tea, lunch, and the dinner used to wash. He used to see that. You see that? The way you explained, everything was visible. You were on the cliff, but mountains and the peak is visible, but still there is a expensiveness. Yes, I was missing you, David and Jerry. So you see that expensiveness. So that is how I'm explaining. So Vachaspati Mishra was one of the great masters who lived in ninth century, almost 1200 years ago. So, sometime it happens that you are absorbed in doing work and your honey says, hey, you want tea? Oh, no, not at this time. Let me complete this work. So the mind from 360 degrees totally absorbed, not by an effort. So, so this Vachaspati Mishra, his wife's name was Bhamati, so he was writing a commentary on one of the great texts of yoga. So for 7 years, it took him 7 years to write a commentary. And after 7 years, when the book was finished, Vachaspati Mishra asked his wife, who are you? Because he was so much absorbed. Do you see that? You see the other side of the truth. One, you see the relative truth, where you have a label of honey, husband, wife, etc. But he was so much absorbed that his mind reached to the highest state of consciousness. He said, who are you? I'm your wife. I've been taking care of you for the last 7 years. And he said, sorry, I am extremely sorry. I was totally absorbed. So he named the text in the name of his wife. That is known as Bhamati. It's one of the great texts where he talks of ignorance. So this text, this text Astavakra Gita that we are taking up is a text, if I say so, it is meant for the higher level of seekers. What it means by the higher level of seekers? Your mind says, I have a lot of problem, give me meditation. So I gave you a small mantra and I said, you repeat it. You return to me, you say, no, it is helping me. I'm relaxed fairly. I practice it every day. It's a beginning. It's a beginning of your journey. You have yet to learn. And then your mind is constantly in doubt with a lot of conflict and the confusion. Mind is not mature enough to see the ultimate reality. The time comes when your mind is naturally focused on the ultimate reality, that is the real self, which is the pure consciousness. And you have already started living into that. That means you are the higher level of a seeker. Why? Why? Simple reason. When you are a higher level of a seeker, then you only need a knowledge, understanding, awareness to enter into the state of meditation. You don't need to practice. So you see that we have many people, they argue, oh, meditation is a non-practice. Why you are practicing? It is effortless, natural, only for the higher level of the seekers, not for the lower level of the seekers. Lower level of the seekers, yes, do karma yoga. Here is a mantra. Do lot of practices to purify the mind and to focus it. So now see, there is another one of the beautiful verse. What we are studying in the second chapter, the seeker is narrating his experiences. He was the highest level of a seeker. He heard the master and The transformation started taking place while listening. That is the beauty. You see that the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. So what he says, Aho vikalpitam vishwam ajnanat mai bhasati rupyam shuktuh phani rajju vari surya kare yatha. Now he is explaining his own experiences of meditation. What his experiences? This universe appears in me. Does this remote say that universe appears in me? Inert, matter, unconsciousness. Huh? I have defined couple of times what exactly is matter according to the Eastern wisdom. It does not know itself and it does not know others. Anything in the world, including the body, the mind, intellect, ego also, they all come under the category of inert. Now I am pure consciousness. I know myself. I'm speaking. At the same time, I also know you all. Can I live into that state of awareness? What prevents me? Mind moves into the lower consciousness, and when it moves into the lower consciousness, we enter into ignorance. So, the simple translation first, oh, he says, wow, the universe appears in me because I am aware of you, so you appear in me. See that? The universe appears in me, conceived through ignorance. Just as how? So he gives three examples. You have seen there is a silver that appears in the mother of pearl, a snake in the rope, and the water in the sunbeam. So the way I see the mirage means the water in a desert. The way I see the silver shining appears in a conch shell in an ocean looking from the far. The way I see the snake in the rope, they do not exist. Same way, the entire universe do not exist. They simply appear, the ultimate cause. That is my experience, O Master. Aho vikalpitam vishwam jnanat mai bhasate. Rupyam shukto fanirajyo vari surya karo yatha. So now see that if we have understood, there is another verse we have already studied. His experience. He is narrating his experience, just as waves, foam, and the bubbles are not different from water. So all this which emanated from the oneself is no other than oneself. It is all demands an awareness. So that awareness dispels the ignorance. And what is that ignorance? It is only because of ignorance I see you and me are different. There is a standpoint of the wave in an ocean. So when the wave looks at ocean, wave looks at the water, and the wave looks at the other wave. That is one standpoint of knowledge. See that. So the wave is looking at the wave means I am separate, I am different from you, different by color, by shape, by weight, by height, and long list. I enter into the confusion. What about the standpoint from an ocean? Come on, wave. You are part of me. Now you are an ocean. See that? You are an ocean. You are looking at the wave. Come on. What we say, we all are human beings. Don't fight. Don't enter into conflict. We all are human beings, yeah? From the standpoint of an ocean. But the highest standpoint, water. Remove the water, where is an ocean? Remove the wave, where is an ocean? Where is a wave? Where is an ocean? So the very existence is water. If there is no water, there is no ocean, there is no wave. Now place yourself that you are the water, you are the existence. What appears outside is different, it is not. Essentially, it is water. This is what he explains. Can I have that experience? We were talking a lot of other experiences of vision and colors and beautiful experiences. And especially in Kundalini, we undergo a variety of experiences. We forget. Do you know what we forget? We are an experiencer. We can never be an experience. The experiences constantly changes. The seer behind that experiences remains the same. So he explained the same thing, that is my experience. Just as a cloth is one thread, the same, this existence is woven from the being, from the consciousness, from the real self. You can also reflect on being and becoming. Being never changes. Becoming is constantly changing. So there are two parts of the existence. So wherever you see becoming changes, take your mind away from that. Go behind that. You will find the being. This is what he is saying. All names and forms. Not true. Like the silver in a conch shell. Have you seen sometime you are on a beach and you see the conch shell is open and the water is there, it shines like a silver. It is not silver. So he gives that example. Very famous example in Eastern wisdom. Then the most famous is the serpent, the snake in a rope. While you are walking in the evening, it is a rope, but the mind superimposed the image of a snake on the rope. Fear, sorrow, suffering. Same way the mind superimposes what? He is my honey, she is my sibling, and this is my money. Nothing more than that. It is all superimposition. Third example, the water that appears in a mirage in a hot sun desert. You can say that I can see the water and the waves together. It makes sense. Water unchanging, waves changing. Pay attention, being and becoming. Being, water, no change in the water. Being, becoming, waves, ocean, river, pond. Waves can undergo modifications, but the water not. So there is something in us. So constantly maintain your awareness. What is that which does not undergo any modification? You have found the real self. You have found the real self. See snake in a rope. Snake is superimposed. So I have to remove the ignorance. What I did, I throw the light on that rope and I find it is a rope, it is not a snake. So I throw the light of focused awareness on the world outside to discover the ultimate reality. I find the real self. There is nothing more than that. So look at the seeker is narrating the experiences. Oh, this is my experience. Wow. Just by listening to you, I enter into the state of meditation. It is here and now. What three examples indicates? Aho vikalpitam vishwam ajnanat mai bhasate rupyam shuklo fano rajju vari suryakare. So what happens? It is a movement from ignorance to knowledge. What work I have to do, how many practices I need to know your name, location of your house. You see, the practice part is gone. I am a qualified seeker. Practice part is gone. It is all whether I know it or I do not know it. It's a movement from ignorance to knowledge. Action. Now see, many masters, and especially the Shankara and his many students who became great master. I was talking about Vachaspati Mishra also. So you see that they put the right reasoning. You have to think over it. I want to know my real self. Where it is? Within me. Where it is now? Here and now. Where it is, when it is available? 24/7. As long as I want to know my real self, it is available 24/7. What I have to do. So I used to frame a question, how long it takes you to reach to your house from your workplace? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. How long it takes you to reach to yourself? You, awareness, you, consciousness. How long it takes you to reach to yourself? So action is not required. Action means practice is not required. This is what he is pointing to. He directly says, no, you cannot do the practice, but until you are a qualified seeker. Why he says? Now see the understanding by reasoning. The way we work in the science, in the laboratory. So we put the reasoning outside to find out the cause and effect relationship we reach to a particular application. So now what he is saying, that action is opposite. What is opposite of action? Inaction. I act or I do not act. I speak or I do not speak. They are opposite to each other. Same way, what is opposite to the knowledge? Ignorance. Can action be opposite to the knowledge? No. Are you getting it? Action, inaction, they make one pair. Knowledge and ignorance, they make the other pair. Ignorance cannot be removed by action. What I said before, to know your name, what practices I have to do? You need not to do any practice. Here is my name. Know it. See, I did not know, ignorance. Now I know your name. So knowledge and ignorance makes one pair. Action and inaction makes one pair. So when you are a qualified seeker, what happens? You are vigilant. You are extraordinarily aware that this mind is not moving to perform any action. Then what happens? The moment you start the meditation, body naturally becomes still. Not like those Hatha Yoga teachers and the practitioners. With the due respect, that is another approach. So you force your body to be still and it cannot become still. So you say that let me do 50 postures. Then you start walking on your hands, head down, legs up, and still that state is not reached. That is one approach. But here the approach is the knowledge. You cannot attain knowledge by performing an action. The moment you start performing action to acquire a knowledge, you have gone down. Mind is already out, and action is always defective. So this seeker is saying, I have that experience. Where is that? Aho vikalpitam vishwam ajnanatamai bhasate. Come on, this body, breath, mind, sense organs, all these thoughts, I have already seen that it is just an appearance. So that mind settles in my essential nature. That is what Patanjali says, tada drishtu swarupe avasthanam. So what happens then? Then you have an expansive consciousness. You know that you are that consciousness behind all the labels of your gender, of your name, of your age, of your height, of your profession. They just appear on the consciousness the way the waves appear on the water. The way. Now he says, the wave appears on the water. Okay, the way the snake appears on the rope means what? Snake does not exist. There's name, form, only one consciousness exists. I enter into that experience. And the third, see that? Third example, he says, the shining sun inside the conch shell appears as a silver, but it does not exist. I am so rich, I am poor, I am stressed, I am so and so. They all appears like, all glitters something. There is all glitters are not gold. Something like all that glitters is not gold. So what that glitters, look at it, how smart I am, how big I am. So you are referring to the body. See that? Huh? How rich I am. Rich by the wealth. See that? So that identification drops completely. Those identification, master, this seeker is saying, were like snake on a rope, like glittering, like waves in an ocean. They do not exist. So it does not mean that whatever the money you have in your account you send to me. That does not mean. That is a material level, at a transactional reality. But at present, we are talking of the absolute reality and the consciousness. Let us see how it helps us, how this verse helps us to go into the